What's going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. You definitely gonna want to watch this video to the end to hear all the details and to get the full story. If you're new to the fam, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell for future uploads. Let's get right into it. Having an older brother or sister can be a blessing, especially if they help you stay on the right track and teach you things from their own mistakes in life. But in other cases, that could backfire. If the older sibling is in the streets or living a certain lifestyle that could influence the younger one, that's when things can go left real fast. We all have seen good kids go astray and how fast it can happen. And on this episode of Hood Tales, we will be taking it to Jacksonville, Florida to discuss a case of two brothers and a plot to X out a witness. According to sources, when at the time 15-year-old Dakari Maxwell's big brother was released from prison, he was excited. Dakari was a straight-A student on track to doing great things. 21-year-old Jacorian McCray would come home to live with his little brother and his stepfather, Tony Maxwell, after spending almost 2 years in prison for robbery. The two brothers were close, so Tony, Dakari's father, and Jacorian's stepfather decided to let his stepson stay in his home upon his release on the conditions he get a job, follow all the rules, and be a good influence on his siblings, even giving the young man a truck to get around in. But as Jacorian was home for a minute, Tony started seeing the bad influence he had on his little brother, and soon it would come to a head when Dakari and Jacorian were caught on surveillance breaking into a neighbor's house, stealing jewelry, prescription pills, and more. The neighbor, 48-year-old Joe Brenton, had been through this situation before. Having one daughter in rehab at the time, trappers in the neighborhood would come to the home and steal items if his daughter could not pay a debt. So Joe and his wife got surveillance put all around the home. With one daughter still at the house at the time, who actually hung out in the same circle and was friends with the two brothers and knew them since elementary school, she allowed them in the home before to smoke and kick back. As soon as Dakari and Jacorian left, Joe's wife called police to the home on VC Johnson Road in North Jacksonville, where the police saw the video and quickly located and arrested the two brothers. Only 15 at the time, Dakari was released to his father Tony, but Jacorian, already having a record, was held on the burglary charges. The father, Tony, explained to the judge his 15-year-old son was a good kid, but was easily influenced by his older brother into breaking law, selling grass at school, anything for him and to impress him. But at the time, nothing could be done. Joe, who had worked for 25 years at the University of North Florida, was worried for his family's safety. So him and his wife gave a video statement about the burglary for court records on the two brothers. As time went on, Jacorian, already a convicted felon, was anxious to get out of jail, especially when he found out he was facing almost 15 to 30 years in prison. And as he would call home from jail phones, his main focus would be to try to convince Joe and his wife to drop the charges. Allegedly, Jacorian had the gift of gab, also the mindset to influence others to do his dirty work, including at the time his girlfriend, we will call Miss Shelton, who had already took a gun charge for him while being pregnant. Calling Miss Shelton from a jail phone, Jacorian told her to pull up on the family so they could bribe them. Following his instructions, the young lady did what she was told, going to Joe's home, talking to his wife, and when she told Miss Shelton it wasn't too much she could do because the statements were video recorded and the two brothers were caught on surveillance in the act of breaking in the house. Miss Shelton told her money wasn't an issue, but Joe's wife seemed unmoved by the offer. Before Miss Shelton then told her, well, if you can't do anything about it, then we will see what we have to do, before leaving. Once the news got back to Jacorian, he was even more scared now, because the court date was coming close and was approaching fast. And Joe stood firm on his decision to show up to court. This is where things get crazy. Allegedly, Jacorian would call his homeboy, Demetrius, and his little brother, Dakari to set up a hit on Joe and the family. Jacorian could be heard on the jail phone, recorded conversation, running down the plan to Demetrius and his little brother, stating he really needed this done, and he needed Demetrius to help because he was the oldest. The calls would keep coming, with Jacorian giving his little brother Dakari step-by-step plays of how to do the hit.
Listen, bro, I don't want to say I just picked Jerry yesterday, bro. I go to trial tomorrow, bro. So with D gon' handle up with you, man. Y'all boys handle up, man. You hear me?
Then on the early morning in 2016, about 3 o'clock a.m., police were called to Joe's home on the dead-end street of V.C. Johnson Road to reports of shots fired. When they arrived, they found Joe Brenton suffering from wounds inside his home, where unfortunately the man would not survive. His wife and daughter were at home during the time and heard Joe go to the door before hearing commotion, then shots. The crazy thing was, it was one day before the burglary trial was set to start. As police started investigating, Joe's wife told them about the visit from Miss Shelton in the burglary case. Also, neighbors said it had to be someone that knew the area because the street was a dead end. Only people who knew someone in the neighborhood would come to the area. As the investigation went on, Jacorian's jail conversations were picked up, and Miss Shelton and Demetrius were picked up along with Dakari. Demetrius told police he was a part of the plan, but the night of the hit, Dakari was supposed to come pick him up, but the young man never came. Police determined the young man did the hit himself to impress his big brother. The two brothers were charged with murder, witness intimidation, and other charges. Dakari, even though 17 at the time, was charged as an adult. Demetrius was charged with conspiracy and tampering with witness. Miss Shelton was charged with tampering with witnesses also. Eventually, Jacorian was found guilty of all charges and was sentenced to life in prison. Not many details were found in Dakari's trial, other than he pleaded not guilty, probably due to his age at the time. Rest in peace to Joe. I send my prayers and condolences to his family. More of this story, sometimes trying to fix situations only makes it worse. It's an old saying, if you can't do the time, then don't do the crime. Dakari looked up to his big brother, but unfortunately, he was used to crash out. And Jacorian got a life sentence and put everyone's freedom in jeopardy. The crazy thing is, the burglary was already caught on tape, so they was already caught. And he turned maybe a 5-year sentence to life in prison. So remember, we gotta succeed not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Man, crazy story all around the board, you feel me? I'm not sure what happened to the younger brother. Like I said, Jacorian, he ended up getting a life sentence, you feel me? I'm not even sure what happened to his girlfriend or his homeboy. I mean, of course they got the lesser charges of just witness intimidation, because Demetrius, even though Jacorian wanted him to do the hit, he backed out at the last minute, and his little brother wanted to show his loyalty, so allegedly he went and did it himself, man. Crazy situation. Rest in peace to Joe. You know, at the end of the day, man, that man ain't do nothing wrong, you feel me? He was a law-abiding citizen, you know what I mean? And he had surveillance, so they was already caught. It ain't even like he told the police. He ain't had to tell the police nothing. When his wife called, they already had surveillance footage, man. So yeah, crazy situation, you feel me? And for Jacorian to pit Dakari and risk like that, your little brother, is crazy. But let me know what y'all think about this one in the comments. Y'all already know, fam, it's all love. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. It's your boy Tony 2 times. I'm out.